Divus.
Welcome! Today I will show you the customization menu in the Optima visualization. The first point is called Themes. You have the possibility to choose between a black design with white text and icons and a white design with black text and icons. You confirm your choice with the Save button, after which the browser page will reload. If you are also using customized icons, the two themes use separate icons folders. So if you want your custom icons to be available in both themes, you must upload them twice. Once from one theme, then switch to the other one and upload the images again. You may also consider to adapt them to the different design and colors, but that's obviously up to you. Under the menu point Navigation menu, we can customize the vertical navigation menu of the visualization. As default, almost all the available points are shown. We can rename single entries, and after switching to the expert view, we can hide entries by unchecking the visible checkboxes. By using the blue icons on the left, we can also change the order of the menu points. Moreover, we can add points. Groups and links can be dragged out of the search results or of the administration menu and dropped at the desired position of the list. In this way, you can perfectly adapt the navigation menu to the wishes and needs of the customer. The next point is Favorites. These favorites are the same you see from the visualization. As from there, also from here I can add or remove objects. Here I can also change the order with the blue icon. Options has its own sub-menu, so let's have a look at those now. Home gives access to a lot of options, influencing the way the homepage of Optima is shown. We may choose the Favorites page as home. We may configure a set of options which enable or disable the current weather, date and time. We may choose a custom background image. Or decide to have the background image change according to the weather. We may want to have the navigation menu shown also as a horizontal bar. The last two settings are also interesting. We may choose a room as alternative homepage by dragging it onto the field. And we may choose a timeout value in seconds after which the visualization will automatically jump back to the homepage. Under email, we can configure an account on an SMTP server. This will allow Optima to send email notifications. Here you see how it looks like when using Gmail. Of course, in that case you would use your own account. In notifications, you can decide how the system should react to on-screen notifications. There are 3 levels for notifications: Info, Warning and Alarm. The settings are repeated 3 times, once for each level. The first one decides whether the notification window should pop up or not for that notification level. If so, the notification will pop up, independently from what room or other page you are currently in. If not so, the user will only see a small red badge on a notification window icon on the home page. Then he will have to manually open that window to read the details. The number in the red circle shows the amount of new notifications, the ones that have not been dismissed. The second option can add an acoustic signal to a notification. This means that when a notification is triggered, it will produce a sound on all the devices where it is shown. The third and fourth option, which are correlated, decide whether or not the alarm sound is repeated cyclically, and if so, the cycle time. The next point is about background views, meaning the rooms which use the background template. The Follow Me option can be enabled or disabled globally from here. This option can be used on tablets or smartphones and needs custom-made rooms. For further details, please consult the Optima manuals. The minimum and maximum zoom values in percent are percent values of a background image size. For rooms configured to use the zoom function, the background image will try to match the screen size filling it up, and that will be done within this percentage range. In other words, the image will be resized down to 70% or up to 130% of its original size, trying to match the screen size of the client screen. The last two settings can configure a value for a screen width, used as the minimum value for showing a room with the background template. If the screen is smaller, the grid template will be used instead. The next 2 points allow to configure RSS feeds and web pages, so that they can be called and seen directly from inside the visualization. An entry for these tasks could look like this. When using these functions, please consider that: first, RSS feeds are meant to just show the headlines. There is no function to reach the full article. Second, on mobile devices, both these functions are disabled. The reason is that there are tons of apps which are specialized in these tasks, offering a very good user experience, so reinventing the wheel did not make sense. Third, moreover, for both functions, it is risky to rely on a third party's website. That website may decide to change or cease a service overnight, so a link or a page might not work after some time. The customer should be informed about that. Display interaction allows to enable or disable an on-screen keyboard and the cleaning mode. The first option makes an on-screen keyboard appear whenever you enter into the text editing mode. This is useful on devices which have no hardware keyboard and no other automatically appearing on-screen keyboard. The cleaning mode disables all the touch or click events for 30 seconds, so you can freely clean the touchscreen without starting any comment inadvertently. Accessibility is important when you need to make a system easier to read, to understand and to interact with. The first option on this page makes the user interface bigger. Of course, this means that the area for the visualization itself will be reduced accordingly. The object widget is the rectangle of a commanding object, like it is shown in a grid template room. You can choose between the default compact size and a double-height expanded size. The advantage for the first one is a better use of all small screen areas. For the second, it is a more intuitive and immediate use. The checkbox allows to keep the navigation menu open, so the labels are always in sight. The last point under option is advanced. These are indeed all advanced options which should not be changed, only in special cases. When asked by our technical support, it might be required to change one of those set to change. Let's move on to custom symbols and functions, where you have the possibility to customize the interaction elements of Optima. That may mean changing the graphical symbols in the navigation bar or of single commanding objects, using self-made custom icons, or choosing between the multitude of pre-existing icons. Or it may mean to change the labels and also the values which an object should send to a device. Let's see how this is done. This page shows all the graphical elements of Optima in a list with several columns. The last one says System, meaning those are all system elements which as such cannot be changed. What you can do is create a copy starting from a system object. The copy will be added on top of the list, and it will have user as last column. So summarizing, I go to the page Custom Symbols Functions. I search for an object which is as similar as possible to the one I need, and I make a copy of that. I search the copy on top of the list and I edit it. There are a lot of configurations options here. Let's have a look. The name should be changed, possibly adding a unique word which will make it easy to look it up later, when we want to assign this new symbol function to a new KNX object. As allowed values, we can choose between option list and value range. The option list will use those options listed below, each with its label, value and icon, sorted in ascending order. The value range means you have a range where you don't want to write each single value, so you use the value range section, inserting a minimum and maximum value in the step, deciding whether you want to move up and down in 0.1, 0.5, 1 or 5 steps, for example. We make no changes to the object section. For a graphical aspect, we can choose to assign a function and a default icon. If your goal is using customized icons, then clicking the current icon and using the upload function is what you need to do. After the new icon has loaded, look for it in the window and then select it to assign it. When using the option list, you decide the amount of available options, the label, the value, the icon and the button type of each entry. Usually, this will be used for a maximum of 5 or 6 options. The action field should not be changed. The last list is about a graphical prototype. These options are used to configure the current element depending on the type of room it is used in. So there are options for grid template rooms, for the background template room, and for the buttons template rooms. You are free to test and play with all the available settings, until you find out all the possibilities you have, and see exactly the changes that are made by using the different settings. For KNX Superior, there is one more menu entry, called Display. Here you can load pictures to be used as screensaver. If you plan to do that, please first resize pictures to have the same size as your device's screen. You can change the timeouts for the screensaver and the energy saver function, which will turn the screen off. In the bottom part of the page, you can start a new touchscreen calibration, which then must be completed on the touchscreen of the KNX Superior, touching the shown circles on the screen with your finger. Have fun!
Divus.